Hi, I'm Kevin, and this is Kemp Outside. We're your inside source for all things outside. Today on Kemp Outside, we're going to take a look at a safety issue, which is for those of us who pull either boats or camper trailers, or even if you take long road trips to go camping or fishing or to get outside, you always need to consider the safety gear that you carry. And so today we're going to take a look at the one tack roadside safety disc. So this is what it looks like, and we're going to do a review on it, so check it out. Okay, so before I get started, I just want to say if you guys like what you see and you want more tips and tricks on camping, fishing, hiking, gear reviews, campground reviews, learn to fish videos, what's cooking videos, all that stuff to help you get outside, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also hit that little bell that will notify you when we launch new videos. We are really focused on helping people get outside, whether that's camping, fishing, hiking, wildlife photography, enjoying nature, viewing fish and wildlife, all that stuff. We're all about helping people get outside, especially you moms and dads who maybe don't have a lot of outdoor experience but want to take your kids outside. We're all about helping you get out there. So today, as I said in the teaser, we are taking a look at a product from One Tack or onetack.com. And they have come up with a pack of roadside safety discs. So it comes in this little orange tote and a zipper, and then inside are 3 of these safety discs. So 1, 2, 3. Now, why am I doing a video on orange safety discs? Well, so I camp and fish and get outside all over the United States. In the last few years, from our home base in Florida, we've been all the way up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We have in our family a lake cabin in central Minnesota. We have camped and fished in Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, and then we've hit a bunch of national parks out west, everything from Teddy Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota and Badlands in South Dakota, out west to Yellowstone and Grand Tetons, and then in Colorado, obviously Rocky Mountain National Park, Black Canyon of the Gunnison, what was the other one? Great Sand Dunes we've been to, and then I've actually road tripped all the way out to Seattle to see Mount Rainier and stuff like that. So I am not shy about taking a road trip to get outside. And whether we're just doing that road trip in our van, or we're pulling our boat, or for those of you who have RVs or campers, you need to be prepared for that inevitable event where maybe you're running late at night, or even when it's dark. If you're traveling in the wintertime, it gets dark really early, and you are unfortunately you have some kind of problem, whether you have a flat tire on your trailer, or even on your main vehicle, your tow vehicle, or just your car, whatever it is. Oftentimes you have to change a flat tire on the side of the road, and inevitably it's dark, or it's rainy, or just bad conditions. It's never at the best time. And so my mom actually got me this as a present, with this little kit from One Tack that includes these orange safety discs. And so I thought I'd do a review on them. I do recommend them. So first of all, as of the making of this video, I'm not sponsored by anybody, guys. I don't have any sponsors, so I'm just talking about things that I like. Not to say that I won't have sponsors in the future, but if I'm ever doing a product review and it's from somebody who sponsors me, I'm definitely going to tell you. So One Tack does not sponsor me at all. They don't even know I exist, most likely. Maybe they will after this video. So I will say that I really like their product. I really like these orange safety discs. The kit is a little on the pricey side, so now we got it for, and it's on their website for $48. I think they normally list them at $72, but I've never seen it for that. I've only seen it for the $48 price for these orange safety discs. So, you know, it's not the cheapest thing in the world. If you're on a budget, you know, you're probably going to think long and hard about adding this to your car kit. But you know, when you're out there changing a tire in the dark in the rain, you're going to really wish you probably had something like this. So some people carry roadside flares. Some people carry like orange cones or reflective cones or that kind of thing. These kind of replace that. And so I'm going to go through it, and then it's daylight right now, but tonight I'm going to go outside when it's nice and dark, and I'm going to set these things off for all the different color, or all the different flash patterns that they have, so I can show you that in the dark so you can see how bright these things are. But anyway, there's 3 of them. So they're made out of a hard plastic with a little rubberized coating. They're neat in that they have a magnet on the back so that you can stick it right to the side of your car if you wanted to, or your RV, or your trailer, you know, whatever you wanted to stick it to. Oftentimes I just set them on the road behind me if I need to change the tire or address an issue with my vehicle. I'll just set them, all 3 of them in a row behind me so that people can see me as they're coming up. And then it also has a hook, so you can hang it if you need to use it for a light. It does have 3 LEDs on the front there, so you can actually use it for white light or the orange flashing. And it has a couple of settings, and so it also comes with a roadside safety disc user manual, which I'm going to refer to because there's a whole bunch of settings on here. So the first one, when you hit the little button, is the double pulse. So that's the double pulse, and it says that on 3 AAA batteries, this will run for 15 hours. So it also has what they call a single pulse, and the single pulse will also run for 15 hours. And then it has the short single pulse. So with this, that'll run for 100 hours on 3 new AAA batteries. It has a rotating beacon. I really like this one for roadside emergencies, and it will run for 15 hours. It has an alternating flash, and they say that this one will run for 24 hours. That's also a good one for you know, when you're on the road. And then what's a neat one is it'll actually flash SOS. So SOS is Morse code with 3 short bursts, 3 long bursts, and then 3 short bursts again. So it will repeat SOS. So what's really cool is if you're out in the middle of the woods somewhere and you're lost, you know, if you carry one of those things and just set it out in a clearing, if anybody's looking for you from the air, you know, that might be a nice thing to have. It has a steady full beam. Oh, so the SOS will run for 8 hours. The steady full beam will run for 10 hours. There's a steady low beam. It's a little less bright. That one runs for 15 hours. And then there's the white. It's really bright. There's the white LED that you can use kind of like as a work light, and that'll run for 10 hours. So, and then that's obviously the next button is the off button. Guys, I really like these. You know, do I wish they were a tad cheaper? I do. I'm not going to lie about that. But they seem to be really, you know, really well built. They seem to be really tough. I think that if you were to drop one, you're not going to hurt it. It's waterproof. I'm looking at the thing here to see if it says to what depth, but you can certainly it can certainly get rained on. So it says submerged up to 33 feet. So you can submerge these things up to 33 feet, but they float. So that's kind of cool if you had one in your boat. You know, if you were, you know, stuck, if you had motor trouble or that kind of thing. You know, I have a lot of friends who fish offshore in single engine boats. And I tell you what, you know, having one of these on your boat, if you fish offshore at all, to you know, set that off and let it run. If aircraft are out searching for you, you know, they should be able to find you. These things are really, really bright. So they float, and it says that they can be used for marine applications, which I certainly believe, because they're definitely waterproof. To change the batteries, there are 2 screws, Phillips head screws in the back, that you need to actually unscrew to pull the back off, so it does seal. If I was going to use these in a marine environment, if you're going to use them on your boat in saltwater or even store them, I would just include washing these down when you wash down the rest of your gear, because salt water is hard on everything. So even though these would probably hold up pretty well, I still advocate taking care of your gear. Let's see. So yeah, it's basically you know, basically a really, you know, a really, really neat product from onetack.com. And I guess, you know, you can talk about the price, right? But you know, what's your life worth? You know, sadly, people are injured every year when they you know, are going to change a tire on the side of the road or something like that. You know, we hear about tragedies. You know, it's especially tragic when we hear of a police officer or somebody that's pulled somebody over and gets clipped. You know, we hear that from time to time. And then, you know, just last year, there were some anglers that went out on the Atlantic side. They went out in their boat and they never came back. And, you know, they weren't found despite massive efforts. You know, the Coast Guard does the best they can to go find people. And so, you know, it's always a good idea, just in general, just to talk about safety real quick. You know, it's always good to have a float plan. So if you're going to go fishing with your boat or something like that, tell somebody where you're going. Tell them what ramp you're going to, what lake you're going to be on, or river, you know, and then give them an idea of what time you're going to be home. If you have family members that aren't going with you, obviously let them know, but even let a friend know. You know, I always call people and tell them when I'm off the water. You know, if they know I'm going fishing, you know, I'll just say, you know, hey, you know, got the boat on the trailer, I'm heading back to the house, whatever. Just, you know, be safe out there, guys, because you know, in the grand scheme of things, if you're watching this video, I'm going to just tell you your life is worth more than 48 bucks. So, you know, it doesn't have to be this product, but you definitely want to make sure that whatever safety gear you have, that it's in good working order, and that it's reliable, and that it's durable, and that it's up to the task. So what I like about these orange safety discs is I can keep them in my car, and you know, I don't have to use them just when I'm going camping or fishing or whatever. You know, if I have a flat tire on the way to a client meeting on a Tuesday afternoon, you know, even in broad daylight, these things will still, you know, flash so that people can see. But especially if I'm driving at night or that kind of thing. And then, you know, having them on your boat, or, you know, even just putting one of them, they're not the lightest thing for you hikers out there, but even putting one of them in a pack for, you know, for hiking in the backcountry or something like that, you know, may be a good idea for you. You know, it's totally up to you. But I do recommend them. OneTack, I think, does have a winner here. I will let you know how they hold up. These are only probably about 6 months old now. I've had them about 6 months. But if I run into any problems with them, I'll do a follow-up video and let you know how things work. But so far, they've worked great. Luckily, I've only had to use them to test them out. I haven't had to use them in a like a roadside emergency or any kind of situation like that. Which, you know, knock on wood, right? You know, hopefully this is gear I never have to use. But when it comes to your safety gear, when it comes to your med kit, that kind of stuff, you want to make sure that it's good and ready to go in case you need to use it. So with that, the next part of this video will be outside tonight, going through the different modes of these safety discs in the dark. But like I said, I do recommend them, and I recommend that you start thinking about how you're going to keep your family safe when you're out there camping, hiking, fishing, you know, whenever you're outside. You know, have a plan and execute that plan, and make sure that whatever safety gear you have, that it's good stuff. If you use the one-tack safety discs, or if you've had experience with them, you know, let me know what you think of them. Drop your comments in the comments section below. And if you have any you know, safety tips for our fellow outsiders, go ahead and drop those in the comments as well. Yeah, just guys, be safe out there. You know, fishing, camping, hiking, getting outside, it's supposed to be fun. And sadly, every year we do hear of folks that that didn't take safety seriously, and unfortunately, you know, paid a heavy price, whether that's injury or death. You know, that's not how these are supposed to go. So with that, take care of yourselves, and check out the outside flashing, and see you next time on Kemp Outside. So it's now nighttime, and I'm just about ready to go set up my safety discs outside to test them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them about 10 to 12 feet apart from one another in a line, so you'll see all three of them in operation at once. I'm going to test out every single setting that they have, and except for the SOS one, I'll display kind of a top-down view of the SOS, but all the other functions I'll show with all three of them in a line. And then I'll also shoot a video of the work light feature so that you can see how well it works in lighting up like a workspace or something like that. I think I'll probably use one of my trailers out in the backyard. It's really dark tonight. I don't know what moon phase it is, but it definitely seems to be really dark. So hopefully it'll work out really well. Hopefully I'll be able to get the camera focused and that kind of thing. But regardless of what the video shows, these things are extremely bright. So I really hope it works out. So stay tuned and check it out. So here are all three discs in operation on double pulse. This is what one tack calls single pulse. This is the short single pulse setting. This is the rotating beacon setting. This is the alternating flash setting. So for this shot, I'm doing a top-down view for one of the discs, and this is the SOS setting. This is the steady full beam setting. This is the steady low beam setting. It is noticeable. I don't know if it's noticeable on the camera, but there's a pretty significant difference between the high beam and the low beam to the naked eye. Okay, so for my last video, I want to show you what the work light simulates. So I'm out in the backyard, standing right next to one of my equipment trailers in the dark. And as you can see, you can't see anything on the video. but when I use the light from the safety disc, that's just one of them, you can see it really lights up really well, so I can hook into the hitch if I need to, or work on something in the dark. It gives me a tremendous amount of light. And then it can be really handy if I want to just, you know, stick it on with a magnet or something like that. I can just go hands-free or use the hook if I need to. So it makes an excellent work light. I've stuck it up in the wheel arch before to change a tire in the dark, and it lit everything up pretty nice. So they do come in pretty handy. Okay, so using one of the safety discs as a light to shoot the ending of this video, as you can see, they're really bright. I hope it really shows up in the video how well they illuminate. It is really dark in my backyard. I live out in the country. I have cows for neighbors, so there's not a whole lot of light out here. So really, when I turned these things off, I had a hard time finding them. I had to use the light of one to go find the other ones. So they really do light things up really well. And like I said, you know, your safety is worth more than $48. So whether you buy these or not, please make sure that you have good safety gear and a good med kit when you go camping, fishing, hiking, or when you're getting outside. If you don't need it, maybe you'll come across someone who does. So with that, thanks for watching Kemp Outside. We'll see you next time.